Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the Charlton Chronicles. We are back. We are a very excited group tonight, and we have a full house. Obviously, we have Paul. Tom's in a car park in Gravesend, so that's dedication. That's a lovely view you got there, Tom. And yes. We obviously have our lovely Sid and Steve with us as well. And Tyler will be joining us. He's just having some sound problems. So, Paul, I'll start with you. How are you, mate? Good to have you back. And how you doing?
No, I'm fine. I'm buzzing after yesterday still. It was a perfect day, lovely day weather-wise. 3 points. The boys all played well. All the new lads played really well. And then the icing on the cake goal from the icing on the cake signing Harvey Knibbs. So great day all round, apart from the catering in the North Lower, but I won't talk about
that. we will talk about that at some point, I'm sure. Steve and Sid, I'll come to you both. Welcome to your first official Charlton Chronicles as our new co-host. So thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you both. How are you both?
Oh, thanks for having us. It's a pleasure to be here. Both really well, both buzzing off the game yesterday. A lot of Paul's sentiments are echoed there. Great day, great way to end the game. Great weather. Let's take it on to next week.
Brilliant. And Tom, from your car park in Gravesend there, the weather looks nice. So how are you, mate?
Yeah, I thought I'd get off the train and get here on time. But no, I'm very positive, very happy from yesterday. Obviously, Limbs in the 90th minute again. Charlton like to leave it late every single time, but I'm happy. Obviously, good start. Hopefully, we can go on a little cup run from Tuesday. Bring on Bristol City.
And Tyler, welcome back. Lovely to see you. He's dressed all very Jamaican tonight, which we love. Me, Paul and Sid all came matching tonight. Steve's let us down there. I don't know what he's wearing, a bit of Under Armour, but we'll take it. So Tyler, how are you? I know you're as pasty as me, but for everyone, if you need lights tonight, just look at my face, because this is what happens if you sit in the North Lower, everyone, when you're ginger. So, Tyler, how are you?
Yeah, good. Just making sure you can hear me, because I did have some technical difficulties. There we go. Fiddling about with the settings on the HP laptop, but yeah, I think I caught the sun as well yesterday. But yeah, echo thoughts as everyone else there. What a start to the season! Amazing day to be back down the valley again, and to see it bouncing as it was. And can't wait for the rest of the season, man. What a game! What a day!
Yeah. Now I'm going to do something really random that I wouldn't normally do, because obviously this is our first proper one of the season. So I'm going to ask each of you to give me one word that describes what it felt like being back at the Valley yesterday. So I will go in reverse order on the screen. Tom, one word from you.
Magical.
Tyler.
Euphoric.
Oh, Steve and Sid, I have 2 words from you, one each.
Outstanding.
Excellent. Paul.
Van Dabby Dozy, is that one word?
I don't even know if that is a word, mate, but we'll...
There's a few hyphens in there, I think.
I'll go for supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Yes.
I've not had that much to drink, so I could say it. Right, we will say hello to a few of you in the chat. I'm not going to put them on the screen because it's a nightmare on this tablet. So Chris is first in. So good evening, Chris. Good evening to Charlie. Charlie said it was fantastic, wasn't it? All the signings look good. Good evening to Ian and James. Good evening to Jack. Good evening to Tracy. Good evening to Sophie, who says that she hopes we're all well. Good evening to CAFC Fan Hub. Top of the morning to your little ones. I know I'm only 5'4", but Steve's quite big. You can't miss him at the front of last year's season ticket campaign. Louis, evening all. Did yesterday really happen? Yes, it bloody well did. It did happen. Glenny boys in. Evening, Emma and gang. What a great win. First game in the championship. Let's keep it up. Good evening to Maxim. Good evening to Kimmy, who is a first-time listener. Thank you for listening. Welcome to the Charlton Chronicles. CAFC Fan Hub has said, "Where's Tyler? I miss that man." He's what have I done to my screen? Hold up, I've gone up. Oh, I'm back. He's there. he's there. Look, bottom left. I don't know if he's bottom left on yours, but he's there. Stuart's in there. Good result. Still buzzing. Chris is in there. His word is bouncing. Glenn's was fantastic. Stuart said, could have been worse. At least it wasn't having a whacking great post in front of you at Ala Orient. Mitchell is in there. Good evening. Chris is happy to see Tyler, Tom, Steve and Sid back. Thanks, Chris. Tiny Bear, good evening to you. And David, good evening to you. So, obviously, we're a very happy bunch tonight. I'm going a bit off cuff. I've not written anything down. Obviously, you know, we played Watford, first game back in the Championship. Massive attendance at the Valley yesterday, just over 22,000, which was incredible. And we won. So, Tyler, I think I'm actually going to come to you first. How do you sum up that result yesterday?
Well, the perfect start. I think coming into the game, there weren't a doubt in my mind, to be honest, that we weren't going to win the game. You know, I thought it was going to be our game to win. But it was just everything about it was just perfect. The performance from minute dot. I had some concerns coming into the game as to whether, you know, we would be able to play the same style that we played in League One in the Championship. And I think I was proven within the first 15 or 20 minutes that we can play at this level and against a decent side. You know, Watford ain't mugs. They finished mid-table last year. And we nullified them, really. You know, Quadro Bar tried to do stuff for them on the right and just couldn't get through us. We just limited them to very little chances. Our defence was absolutely rock solid, you know, and I think we just played as a unit. You know, the new signings looked like they've been playing with us all year, to be like for a year or longer. You know, it didn't feel like they'd come in the summer. And it was just amazing. And the fact that, you know, it's amazing that we've just become a club that can do it late now and score goals late. And yeah, when Knibbs scored that goal, my God, just absolutely unbelievable. Atmosphere was incredible. I was in the fan zone for the first time as well. First time being there before the game. That was a great little experience and shows how much the club has come under this new ownership. You know, they really are doing the talking, and it does feel like Charlton are back. You know, and it was just a brilliant performance from minute dot. As I said, Watford just didn't really have anything, limited them to chances. Defensively, rock solid. Some of our players look like they're absolutely incredible for this level already. I know it's early days, can't get too overexcited, but we did look very good out there and look like we can play at this level. So let's keep it going, let's bring it on, and yeah, the perfect start to the season.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And Sid and Steve, I'll come to you. So going in, sort of bearing in mind what maybe your expectations were before the game, compare those to me for what obviously happened at the game. You know, what was your thoughts going into the game? What result would you have taken? And obviously, to get the result we did, how pleased and how surprised are you at how the team turned up and played yesterday?
Yeah, I think there was the same feeling in everyone's mind that we are jumping up to the next level. It's a tough league, and then you wonder about the 9 signings. Will they all come in? It was a lovely thing to cherry pick the best of League One in what we did in a lot of the occasions. The one thing that I did love was that even though there was that jump up in quality, in teams, in the division, there was a lot of continuation from last season as well. Even though we had the new players, we looked absolutely rock solid at the back. The same regular performers performed as they did again. Ramsey was a Rolls Royce. Lloydie was solid. The new guys that came in, Sonny Carey was outstanding. I thought Apter played really well as well. They just looked like a continuation of last season. The solidity didn't look like we were going to concede. Always thought that we could get a goal, even though we did leave it late. But yeah, I thought there was probably a little bit more creativity than the latter part of last season. But I think that comes with the quality that we've recruited in. Yeah, I was a bit like Tyler. I was expecting to win yesterday. I didn't think, as I say, we'd leave it as late as we did do. But yeah, I you know, we just didn't look like we were ever in trouble in big areas of the game, you know. So yeah, if that's the start that we've got, brilliant. We'll take that. And as Nathan said in his interview after yesterday, we're going to play much better than that this season as well. So brilliant. Yeah.
And Sid, how did you feel being back at the Valley? I know you said like your one word, but how did it feel being back, seeing your friends, seeing your Charlton family, sort of being back in the ground? That's probably one of the biggest attendances that you've seen, probably, you know, in your time as a Charlton fan in a league game. So how did that feel for you?
It was really good, yeah. Again, really nice being back at the Valley. Makes you feel like you're at home again. Yeah, big crowd, big fans. We were all there for it. And just to watch us get the winner in the last minute, it's just something that you never feel before. And it's just a different feeling from anything else, I think.
Yeah, and Tom, I'll come to you because I know I wanted to talk about the sort of Valley experience before we go on to picking out certain players. Obviously, we were in the fan zone before the game, so you know what was your overall thoughts of like the fan zone experience before the game, and you know if people weren't in the fan zone, how would you describe it to others, and would you kind of advise fans to go and give it a go?
Well, compared to last season, because I think last season was sort of like a tester, I guess, for the fan zone, but compared to last season, it was unbelievable, to be fair. It's a lot more spaced out, it's a lot more organised. Last year seemed a little bit kind of rushed together, sort of thing. Obviously, no, there's no more Chicken George, unfortunately, but the place overall, it's just a nice vibe about it, really. There's a little football thing on the side. I think there is. The food's better. The service outside the ground is definitely better than inside. That's for sure. But no, other than that, yeah. If you want to get down, get involved with Charlton fans. Get in that fan zone because everyone's friendly. We obviously interviewed a few people as well. They were all lovely as well. So yeah, get down, get involved, and you will not regret it at all.
Yeah, and I've actually, I don't know if you agree, Tom, but I actually really enjoyed doing that. And I think it's, you know, if you guys that are watching are in the fan zone, come and speak to us before a game. It's really good to get your views. We'll try and get all the guys involved at some point. Stephen said, I know, go down there, so we'll get them doing some interviews as well. Come and meet us if you haven't already. Come and have a chat with us, and we'll get you on the socials because it's really good to hear all your opinions and meet new people. So definitely, I think me and Tom both enjoyed doing that. If you haven't seen the video, it's on our Facebook page, the Charlton Chronicles. So go and give it a watch. It's a good little watch. Paul, I'll come to you. So obviously Tom's talked about what went sort of on outside the stadium. Let's talk about the disaster that was
Calamity,
inside
shambles.
the stadium. So Tom went to get me a beer at half time. Now, by the time I think Tom left the ground at like just after 3:30. Hang on, I was going to say 3:30. That's not right. 1:45. No, 1 o'clock. Oh, I don't know. Whatever. But 15 minutes before half time.
I started queuing at the 35th minute, so I put it that way.
Yeah, I should have said that.
Yeah.
And I went out there and it was just the shambles. And then I've literally gone out there and we've got to the front and Tom's gone to order a beer and he's like, oh, we've got no beer left. And I went, I'll have a wine then. Oh, no, we've got no wine left.
It's a pub with no beer.
There was no alcohol left at all.
There was no alcohol left, and this was at half time.
Yeah.
So, you know, what's your thoughts on that and how poor? I mean, in my opinion, Gather and Gather have had all, you know, the off season to prepare for that. What a disaster, and how much money they must have lost yesterday.
I know. Well, Tom,
drinks available.
Tom's experience that was even earlier because we went into the ground about times at 11:30, I think. And we queued up. I thought, oh, plenty of time now, before kickoff or whatever.
It took us 10 minutes to get 2 beers.
Well, yeah, so I think you got yours relatively quickly. At the time, I asked for a cider as well. I paid, and then only to be told then, there was no cider. I'm like, what? It's like an hour before the game. There's no cider. What's going on? I think there was at some of the other kiosks, but, you know, they obviously didn't want to go down and get them. And then, so I said, I have Peroni then. So someone proceeded to try and pour a Peroni. He'd obviously never done it in his life. And it was just like loads of foam. And it was like, the minutes were ticking by. I was sort of looking, and I thought we'd got in here early enough. And then I said, I'll have an IPA. And they carried on and didn't hear me. And then someone who actually knew what they were doing proceeded to try and pour. They were doing quite a good job of pouring. But then obviously the barrel was on its last legs. So, I mean, why was a barrel on its last legs at an hour before kickoff? I mean, hardly anyone was there. So I don't know whether they just haven't changed the barrels or what. But so I ended up getting an IPA, which was poured quick. But it was just catastrophic, really. And there was plenty of staff about. not doing a great deal. But yeah, I mean, Chris, I was at the fans bar. I went up the fans bar. The queues were like ginormous beforehand. And then, of course, Scott's no longer there with his cocktails. I don't know who took that decision, because I always used to, if there's a, I used to go to see Scott, have a chat, have a couple of, porn star martinis or whatever. And it was good crack. So I don't know what's happened there. But yeah, so I went in the ground, thought, okay, surely there won't be problems with the queues. And it wasn't the problem with the queues. I was at the front of the queue, but it was just absolutely catastrophic. And then obviously to hear the stories at half time as well, which didn't surprise me given what had happened before kickoff. It's just not acceptable, basically. And it just makes reputationally, as a club, it's great that things are going well on the pitch. Long may that continue. But as an organisation, it just looks stupid. We just look pathetic and sort of tin pot, basically. And it just sort of, Gavin's obviously got great plans, and I believe him. I think he seems like a really good guy, proper fan, proper Charlton. But it makes him, it sort of belittles him every time these things happen. And to happen, end of the season, fair enough, maybe. But to the first day of the frigging season, so I need to swore there. I mean, it's nuts. They've had all this time to prepare. The team's prepared. The team's in place and doing well. But what's happening behind the scenes, I don't understand. There seem to be lots of people. I see they opened up the old bar where the Upbeats used to serve stuff for sort of the staff, for the stewards to hand stuff in. There's loads of stewards, loads of people behind the serving, but the service is just insane. I don't know what the issue is really, but there we are. So there is a real issue. There is a real problem there, which I think I'll be interested to see. We obviously got the next senior management YouTube, I think, very soon. I'll be interested to see what Gavin says about it, because he must know what's going on in the West Stand. I think it's just as bad. So probably in the Coventry as well. So we know what the situation is with the away stands in the Jimmy Seed, away fans in the Jimmy Seed. That's just awful. 3 people for however many thousand that turned up yesterday. So yeah, all round them are just awful, and it needs sorting, soon.
Yeah, Stuart's put a really interesting and quite funny point in the chat, actually. Saying he went to Borussia Mönchengladbach game and had several blokes with beer on their backs serving in the ground. Wouldn't that be great?
Well, it's like if you go, I go to Tottenham, right, for the NFL. If you go there, they've got probably Wembley the same. They stack them up. All the beers are there, stacked up. So it's just the queue might start long, but they go down rapidly. They've got it. They've got a system that works. We have a system, or do we have a system? But whatever system we have just does not work. It's shambolic, and it's been like that for years. And it's not necessarily money. It's about efficiency and a commitment from the club, really. So yeah, sort of 0 out of 5 for me for yesterday. They just need to up their game.
Yeah, 100%. We'll start talking about some individual performances. I think there were some really standout ones from yesterday. I'm gonna, rather than do it in groups, I'm probably gonna pull out individual performances. So, Tom, I'm gonna come to you first. Obviously, we don't have Nick, so Thomas Kaminski has obviously taken the number 1 shirt. Now, the feedback I kind of had from the Luton fan who I spoke to from the Supporters Trust was he was a great shot stopper. His off the line work wasn't great. And, his ball claiming isn't very good. So do you think he did enough? Obviously, you can talk about the penalty. I've rewatched that incident, and I actually don't think he's really brought the guy down. I think the guy's planted his foot and he knew what he was doing and he's just flung himself over. It could be a penalty, but the way I look at it, I think it would be soft if it was given, which it obviously wasn't. What did you make of his overall performance yesterday?
I thought he did all right. I mean, I think he made like a really important save near the end or something like that, which probably kept us in the game. But I mean, he pretty much caught everything Watford kind of put his way. I don't think they tested him as much as I thought they would. But I mean, he does like to give me a heart attack by holding on to the ball for a very long time, which I do not. I'm not a fan of that at all. But he did the job. That penalty, if that's a penalty to the Watford fans, then that Josh Edwards one is a penalty all day long. It's as simple as that. Because I don't know how that wasn't given. But other than that, I think he's been all right. Obviously, saved the penalty last week at Southend, which still in my mind, I can't remember the last time we had a penalty save, which in my mind, it's probably Brighton 2 years ago or something like that. So that was quite nice. But he seems like a good shot stopper. But I mean, really, if the defence in front of him are good enough, to be fair, to not combine Jarrah a bit more, if you like, because they're one of the strongest defences I've seen as a Charlton side in a very, very long time. Yeah, I'm very happy. Obviously, number one shirt pretty much instantly as well. But I think with the amount we signed him for, I think he was always going to kind of get that number, if you like.
Yeah, and I think he's on the high wage as well. So, yeah 100% he was always going to get it.
I mean, obviously, Nathan Jones is a big fan of him. I mean, I can see why. He likes to he talks to players individually. That's what I did see yesterday. He talks to them in the box. But yeah, other than that, I'm very happy with it. As I say, I don't think he was tested as much as I thought he would have been. But yeah, other than that, very happy.
Good stuff. Tyler, I'm going to call out an individual performance. I don't want you and Paul to fight. It's a difficult one. You probably know what I'm going to come to you about. I personally thought he wasn't my man of the match, but I thought for someone who came from Scottish, League One, to put in that level of performance in the Championship was outstanding. I thought he was superb yesterday. Josh Edwards, he was unreal. You're not Tyler. Keep your.
It was unreal, Phil.
Don't make me fight you in Gravesend car park. Right,
I'm waiting.
I can't be bothered, mate, to move. Tyler, what did you make of it? I honestly thought the lad was superb.
He is probably the most underrated signing we've made in God knows how long. I think last season he didn't get the appreciation he deserved. I still stand by that now. And to watch him completely dominate Kwadwo Bar, who is a very good player, he's a technically gifted winger, he's been in the Championship a few years. To see him just put him in his back pocket the entire time was just outstanding. He did not put a foot wrong at all. For me, it's close between him, probably Ramsey and Carey, but to be honest, I probably would have had Edwards as man of the match, in my opinion. It's probably biased. I love the man, but he was just phenomenal, absolutely outstanding. As I said, just didn't put a foot wrong, got stuck in constantly. He was on every man he was up against and won pretty much all the time he was there. He was just absolutely. There's not enough. I don't think there's enough adjectives I can describe him as to describe how good he was. There isn't enough. He just was that good, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do. For the rest of the season. Obviously, we have got to be careful with him because he technically is our only left wing back at the moment. Although we brought him off, and Bell, with how versatile he is, he's able to come across, and Gillespie's the natural fit to put there. So that's another good thing. But we have got to be careful because he did have an injury last season, right at the start of the season. So we have got to be careful with that and make sure that he does stay fit. And if he can stay fit, my God, if he puts in performances like that, Jesus, like he looks natural. He looks natural for this level, and you wouldn't have thought that, as you say, coming over from Scotland. When he came over last season, you would have thought, how's he gonna do in League One? And he was brilliant then. And as I said, didn't get the plaudits he deserved. To put in a performance like that on your Championship debut is just phenomenal.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he was immense, and I think it surprised a lot of people, including me. Yeah. I knew he had a good season last season, but like you said, stood it against Kwadwo Bar was sensational, and I loved it when he put him on his arse by the Kirbysley, and he just rolled around like a little baby having a cry.
Yeah,
I just thought it was hilarious. Stephen said, I'll come to you next, because I think for me there was one that was a little bit controversial, and that was the inclusion of Amari Bell into that back three. So we'll talk about the back three in general. Lloyd is Lloyd, and Lloyd always gives 100% performance, and you can't knock him for that. And obviously the assist for the goal, and he was battering their defence all game. Kane, I thought, was absolutely sensational. There wasn't any game. Kane looks world class, I think, not even just Championship class. Give him the Ballon d'Or, in my opinion. and he's literally told me that he wears that silly bandage on his arm just for luck now. He doesn't need it. I don't know why he wears it. I keep telling him he looks like Keith Lemon, and he don't know who he is. But my main thing was Amari Bell. I was quite shocked. In my fan hub team, I started Gillespie. I thought Gillespie ended the season on a real high last year. Obviously, getting the winner at Wembley. I couldn't see a change to that lineup, and I was very, very surprised to see Amari Bell in there. So what was your thoughts maybe on his performance and the back three as a whole? Is that the back three that you would have started with, or were you surprised yourself?
Yeah, starting with Bell. I mean, he's been one of the players I've been impressed with pre-season. I've liked the way that he's defended, and I like the way that he utilises the ball as well. I think his distribution's been excellent in the games that I've seen him in. I think he's got one thing over Gillespie, and I think that's his pace. And I genuinely think that's why Jones has picked him. There's probably not too much between those two. And as you say, Gillespie probably earned the right to start yesterday by what he did at the sort of back half of last season. But yeah, I think he settled in well yesterday, and I think he's a nice player that Joshy's got behind him. I think there's a solidity there, and I genuinely think he complemented Lloydie and Kane yesterday. In regards to those three as a unit, I'm glad we spoke about Josh today. I think that he's one of those guys. There's probably about 3 or 4 players in the team that if we made a jump to the Premier League, they'd probably make the jump. Kane, Lloydie, and Josh. I genuinely think that if we made another jump, Josh would make the jump as well. But yeah, as a back four yesterday, Tom was talking about Kaminsky there. I don't really think that the guy had a lot to do, did he? I mean, the back three protected him so well yesterday. It was so solid. There's always going to be a couple of hairy moments within a game, but even there, we had those down to a bare minimum in the end. So yeah, great individual performances and a great collective performance at the back, and it's another clean sheet for the boys, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant. I might have exaggerated with Kane, but that's just how I feel. And like Chris has even put in the chat, how did he end up playing for Harrogate? It's bemusing that no one picked him up before we did, and there surely have got to be an interest in him in the window. And it's a player that we 100% don't want to lose. Sid, have you got anything to add to that defence? What you thought of the defence yesterday?
I mean, I watched Kane Ramsey's highlight reel back, and he's just like a beast that you wouldn't want to come up against. And he was just out and about. He made sure that he won the ball. He made sure that he made those tackles. And even Lloyd, I mean, the headers that he's making, the interceptions that he's making, he's just world class.
Yeah, and I think the thing is with Kane, what I really enjoy with him as well is he won't, hoof the ball out of play. He will always try and go past the player with skill, and and for a centre half to have that confidence to play out from the back like that. And I think in the Championship we see a lot more probably tippy tappy football, as I would call it, rather than League One. It's much more of a play it along the floor, play it out from the back kind of game. And Kane is so controlled doing that. It bemuses me. Like Chris has said, how the hell he came from Harrogate is just beyond me. It's crazy. But
the thing is, he knows he's a good player, Kane, and he backs himself on every occasion. You watch him; he never panics. If he gets into a situation, he'll put his body between him and the player, and he backs himself. And it's almost like 100% of the time. Doesn't matter who the winger is, he'll back himself, and he'll win the battle. It's a great quality to have in our team.
Yeah, he said to me he will never kick the ball out of play unless he really has to. He just does not do it. And you do notice that with him. He will always, even if he's really under pressure, he will try and get around the player and, play the ball down, down the side. So, Paul, I'm going to come to you with, it's a little bit of a negative, this one, but I know you'll give your honest opinion. So, I did start my middle three. We will come on to Sonny Carey and we will come on to Conor Coventry, but I did put Greg Docherty in my team yesterday because I didn't think that Harvey Knibbs would be ready. I knew Luke Berry hadn't done a lot of pre-season, and I didn't know if the sort of situation would have been too much for Carey. So I was incredibly disappointed with Doc's performance yesterday, and reading into what a lot of other fans are saying, I think a lot of fans feel the same way. I do feel that Conor was left a bit exposed at times because Doc went missing. So, is his place under threat with the signings? And How what did you really make of his performance yesterday? Being that he really is an established Championship player.
Well, I think he is under threat. But if I can just start him, obviously I made a couple of faux pas last season, so I'm obligated now to start every summary with Kane Ramsey is absolutely brilliant, because obviously a couple of times I've forgotten about him. So yeah, I'll put that right. But no, I mean, going back to Doc, as you say, he played for Hull for a number of years in the Championship. I just sort of thought he kind of struggled manfully, is how I put it. I think he obviously will always give preferably 110%, but I just think that possibly maybe the step up is probably just beyond him now. I don't know. He's certainly. I mean, he was probably a sort of a 6 out of 10, maybe a 5 out of 10, where others were sort of 7s and 8s and more. I think he did, as I say, I think he struggled. I think Conor was. You're right. I think Conor was left exposed, and it was for me slightly worrying, because if this is how it's going to be, I fear for Doc. I mean, he's club captain, so he doesn't necessarily have to play, to be club captain. But clearly, he'll be disappointed. But I think, well, yeah. I mean, I guess there is that, Ryan. But it's ultimately, we know that the gaffer can be ruthless. I mean, we talked about Amari Bell. We've talked about Amari Bell earlier on in this podcast, and Macca's place in Charlton folklore has been secured. But and you would think, Emma, that Macca would be a shoo-in to start, but clearly he wasn't. So Jones is going to make the decisions, and I do think that if things don't improve in the next sort of 2, 3, 4 games for Doc, he will be replaced. And clearly, Harvey was only on the pitch for 14 minutes or something. But look at what he did in not just the goal, but the way he just showed in that sort of snapshot, that cameo of what he can offer. So again, once again, I've gone around the houses a bit, but I think Doc's position is very much under threat.
Yeah, and it's quite worrying, isn't it? I understand what Ryan is saying there, being that he's club captain. Nathan obviously shows a lot of faith in him, but Nathan isn't scared to drop players. Like when we had Alfie, he would take Alfie off the pitch, and he isn't scared to make those decisions. And I think after that performance yesterday, there needs to be some serious look at what's going to happen in that midfield, because I think there are players there that are stronger than Doc, unfortunately, and that is quite sad to see. But Tyler, I'm going to come to you. I'm giving you all the good ones tonight. It's just the order I'm going in. So I want to talk to you about my man of the match. I don't know if I'm a bit biased because he is a fella redhead. Sonny Carey. Now, a lot of people were doubting him before he'd even kicked a ball for us. And I think he's taken that doubt and shoved it down their throats, because I thought he was tremendous yesterday. He ran his absolute socks off. He created chances. I just thought he was sensational. And for someone who hasn't really played, I think he's played a little bit of Championship football with Blackpool, but not a lot. He wasn't frightened to get stuck in there, and he just looked fearless. And what a player I think he could be for us this season. So, what's your thoughts there?
Yeah, definitely. I think when we first signed Carey, I think we all were kind of under the impression that he would just be a good option to have off the bench. I don't think we saw him as a regular starter. And obviously with Knibbs coming in, you would think, okay, yeah, he'll be the 10 to begin games with. But obviously he's not fit enough. So Carey was the natural one to come in, and he did look good in pre-season. I was impressed with what he showed, albeit against, besides Ipswich, uncompetitive opposition. But yeah, he was tremendous yesterday. Again, high energy, as you say, run his socks off. His link-up play with Rob Apter, who I don't know if we was going to mention him, but I think we may have forgotten him.
No, we're going to mention him.
I'll be brief then. The link-up play between them two was excellent. You could tell that they get on really well at Blackpool. They've got a great relationship, and they just seem like, they're just, whether you call it telepathically connected, but what they were doing was just brilliant. Like, as I say, like they've been playing for years. But yeah, Carey was, I wasn't surprised, to be honest, to see him get man of the match. And as I say, again, I've probably taken aback with the level of his performance, because, as you say, his Championship experience is somewhat limited, and you probably wouldn't say he'd be a regular starter when he first come in. But as you say, he's definitely silenced any doubters from that, and probably myself included. And very impressive in the end. And long may that continue. And let's see if he can add a couple of goals and assists to his game as well, because I definitely see potential there.
Yeah, Tom, I'll talk to you about your mate. We was having a nice little chat with him after, and you know, he's turned the corner for me, Mr. Packet of Rice, as I like to call him, because we're friends now, and even his dad was waving at me yesterday, and I thought his parents hated me, and his dad was waving at me, and I didn't even know. But you know, I like I said to Paul there when we was talking about Doc, I do feel he was left a bit exposed by Doc yesterday. But obviously, you know, what a corner for the goal. Obviously, he's been working on his set pieces because we know how poor they've been in the past. So, you know, is he just Mr. Reliable? And is he probably the one person in the team who you just could not drop?
I think Cov is the first name on the team sheet pretty much every week, especially in league anyway. I think.
Josh.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I think he was doing yesterday what he did quite a bit last season, which I think went under the radar because obviously he has to do two jobs sometimes, and I think Greg got lost a bit last season as well. But Cov, I think you've seen through pre-season, you've seen through the playoffs, because I think he went under the radar there as well. I think everything kind of just goes through him. He's finally got that shadow of Dobson off of his back, which is about time. But I think we all knew he was a very different player to Dobson from the start. He's more of a safe player, I guess. He ties it up. He does the work no one really notices.
Sid is trying not to kill you right now. I can see her almost grimacing.
Very restrained. Very restrained.
Dobbo's still welcome at Charlton any day, but right now Cov starts over him. So no, I think he is Mr. Reliable, and I think give it a season or two, and I think he'll be Charlton captain. Honestly, I think he's one of the better DMs, if you like, that I've seen at the club in a very, very long time. And we've had some horrendous players, but yeah, I think he's got like a year or two left in his contract anyway, so we have him for a while. Everything he does just seems to kind of work. He's finally passing forward as well, which I noticed yesterday, because last season he didn't really do a lot passing forward, but going forward his passing range is unbelievable. He was one of my man of the matches, to be fair. He just kind of tidied everything up, filled in when needed, because when Kane went forward, he would always kind of drop back into his area as well, which I do like. Cov, honestly, as I say, I think he is going to be one of the better playmakers in this league.
Yeah, 100%. I've just got to answer this because I've just seen this comment. We did talk about Lloyd Jones.
Yeah.
Sid and Steve did. So
yeah.
This has always been very much a Lloyd Jones positive podcast, obviously with me sponsoring him last season. But, you know, we have other players to talk about, and there are some... Lloyd puts in 100% week in, week out, but there are other players that need some real good loving as well, because they had incredible games yesterday. Lloyd...
But just to say, Emma, we talked about Doc and captaincy. Obviously, the vice captain got into a ball around the pitch yesterday. So, I mean, he's definitely in the argument for captain, of course. But sorry, carry on.
Yeah, and I would probably agree with you. Lloyd is a really good leader on the pitch, and I've always said, you know, he should be my captain. I don't think Doc should be captain, especially with his position potentially at risk this season. But look, trust in Nathan. Look at where he's got us and where he'll continue to take us. So yeah, trust in the gaffer, and let's see what happens, isn't it? It's down to the players to push each other out of position at the end of the day, and that's what they're there for. So Sid and Steve. Sid, I'm actually going to come to you rather than your dad this time. Rob Apter, what a player, yeah. What an incredible signing he's been. Obviously, you know, I think we paid a lot of money for him. The feedback I had from Blackpool fans was that maybe he wasn't ready for the step up to the Championship. well, how wrong they were. What a player. What did you think of his performance yesterday?
I thought he was amazing. I mean, his teamwork, especially with Sonny Carey, was just brilliant to see. See him using both of his feet. I know he's a left-footed player, but to see him using both of his feet to get past players is just brilliant. And his shots, he's going to score some good goals this season. You can just see it coming, which is obviously great because you need to have some midfielders and some wingers that can obviously score goals. You can't just rely on your strikers to score them all. So you've got to have some other players that can score as well.
Yeah, and I think for me, I don't know if you agree, Steve, but how nice to see a player that can finally put balls into the box. And he looks to do it at every single opportunity he gets.
Oh yeah, I don't think he's going to be one of these guys that overcomplicates things. And he's got a great delivery. He's got that sort of whippy, curvy delivery, isn't he? Which is what centre forwards dream of. But yeah, me and Sid were having the conversation when we watched the highlights back yesterday. There was a couple of occasions when he came inside on his left foot, and you can just see he's got the quality to bend one in the bottom corner or bend one in the top corner. He will get goals for us, this kid, I think. And it's been mentioned on here that he's as I say, his link up with a lot of the other players was great. If I could be ultra critical, there was a couple of times towards the latter half of the first half where he got caught out a couple of times, and it looked like their sort of our right hand side was a little bit vulnerable at times. But I think he even corrected that. I think he got together with Ramsey, and then his defensive work was brilliant after that. But yeah, if that's sort of middle of the road or mediocre, what the Blackpool fans say, well, I'll take that every day because I thought he was excellent. Yeah.
I've just seen this and it's just made me laugh. I'm sorry, but that is quite funny.
The way he tells them.
I could not show it because I'll keep calling him Raptor than Rob Apter. It's just we need to come up with some dinosaur song for him. It's just too it's just too easy to do. It's just too funny. But I think both the Blackpool boys have made a massive impression on me, to be fair. And obviously, you know, I keep in touch with a few Blackpool fans because obviously, you know, because of my boy up there. And, you know, the feedback I had from them was just that neither of them were really ready. And, you know, I think they didn't look out of place in a championship team at all yesterday. I thought they were both superb and long may it continue. You know, I was really, really impressed. And I don't think Sonny actually got Sky Man of the match. I believe Lloyd got that. But he did get the fans man of the match, which is great to see. And hopefully that will boost his confidence up. But I think that, you know, there was a lot of players there that could have got man of the match. Josh, Lloyd, Kane. You know, and that's an amazing thing to have so many players that are, you know, in the mix for that award. It's incredible, and you know that's something that we're not quite used to if we're being completely honest. Tyler, I'm going to come back to you because we talk about the front line because I don't think they really had their best game yesterday. Kelman, by all means, I completely forgot he was on the pitch. But I'm not going to judge him on one game after he banged in like 27 goals last season. Tyrese, I'm sorry, Tom.
I know, yeah.
I thought he made some really promising runs in the first half. His lack of ball control and especially passes going, wandering all the time. He wasn't in my starting 11 yesterday. I would have started Tanto. And I think really I'm proved right when you see his performance when he came on for that short period of time. So what did you make of that front two? And would you have changed it? Would that have been your starting front two, really?
I was actually quite surprised to see Kelman start, to be honest, purely because of his lack of minutes in pre-season. I felt like Knibbs, it perhaps was too soon. It sounds quite stupid to say considering the season he had last year, and he is unquestionably going to be our goal threat this year. But I just felt maybe someone like Tanto, who looked promising in pre-season, would have been the better option to have. As you said there, Kelman was pretty much non-existent. I don't think he really got a lot of the ball. He didn't get the service forwarded to him. I thought his press was good, which is promising. You know, the fact that that's continued from last season is good to see. And I've absolutely full confidence in him that he will score goals. But I just felt potentially that was too soon. And the fact that he was hooked off as early as he was, I think, proved that. But yeah, not gonna judge him too harshly because, as you said, he's still raw. TC, unfortunately, I think personally is the weak point of our team this season. I had my doubts coming into the season. 7 goals from him last season, I think, is good for his standard. But I think even last year we were saying that his end product wasn't good enough, and for me that was proved tenfold yesterday. I felt he made some really poor decisions in possession. He gave the ball away too many times. He had one good opportunity in the second half where he cut his side on the right foot and had a shot, but he's not going to get a lot of opportunities to do that. And I wonder whether he'd be a better coming off the bench. Starting someone like your Tanto or even Lieberman and who are that sort of battering ram who can batter and bully defenders. And then once they've got tired legs, bring TC on for the final 20 and give him something scary to go up against because he's quick and he's got some technical ability. And I have no doubt in that. But after seeing that yesterday, I know it's the first game of the season. It's perhaps a bit harsh, but I was left sitting there like, is he ready to make the step up to the Championship? Is it perhaps too soon for him? I still rate him. I still think he's a good player and he can offer something at this level, but the end product was an issue last year, and I think it's going to be a major problem this year if Jones doesn't work hard on him, which I'm sure he will because he's got full confidence in him. But yeah, that front two started. I'd like to have seen Tanto in there. As I said, I would have thought Kelman was probably too soon, and you probably had to start TC for something different. But unfortunately, I think he proved that perhaps he needs a bit more time to get accustomed to this level. But the two who come off the bench, who I'm sure you'll give to someone else to talk about in more detail, were exceptional, to be honest.
Yeah, Tom, I'll come to you to talk about Miles Lieberman. It's a player really that I've always been quite critical of, especially last season. I felt his work rate, his effort, just his attitude was a little bit off in games. And I think me and Tyler had a conversation and we kind of agreed, that maybe. He was hit by injury, wasn't he, early in the season? He hadn't had a full season. He kind of ran that down my throat yesterday because I hate to say it, because I hate being proved bloody wrong. I thought he was great when he came on. I still think he could put a little bit more effort into winning headers. The guy's 6'7". You can still jump, Miles. It's just my frustration. He shouldn't be beaten by a guy that's about a foot shorter than him in the air. I just find it ridiculous, and it just makes me really mad. But that's my little rant over. But I thought he did fantastic when he came on. So do you think he's going to be a massive player for us this season, whether it be he starts or off the bench?
I mean, I think I said to Paul or someone yesterday, if we can keep Lieberman fit, he is like a new signing for us. It's as simple as that. Because obviously he missed quite a bit last season, but then he had that good sort of patch in a December time, which I thought, okay, we might have the old Lieberman back here, but unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. I thought he looked lively coming off the bench. I've always said if he was like 5'8" and a winger, he'd be one of the best players in this bloody club because he's better with his feet than he is with anything else. Because he came on and I think he did a few step overs, one thrown instantly. The headers are my only issue still. Again, I don't understand how you're 6'7" or 8" and can't win a header. But is what it is. I think we'll probably see more of him on Tuesday because obviously we've got the cup game. I think him, Tanto, someone will probably start up front, and we'll see what he can do. But yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping and praying we can keep him fit because we know how good of a goal scorer he is from his debut season. We know what he can do. We know what he can do with the ball. We just have to keep him fit, keep his confidence high as well, because I think that's a key thing. Because I mean, I think he's had two or three major hamstring injuries, which is not ideal for a 22-year-old. But yeah, if we can keep him fit, then I'll be more than happy. And as I say, he'll be like a new signing. And yeah, hopefully we get the old Lieben back in the Championship.
Yeah, definitely, and I hope he can keep it up because I thought he was excellent yesterday when he came on. So there you go. I can take back my words, but it takes a lot to impress me. He's got to keep going. Sid and Steve, I'll come to you. Tanto Alafi, I don't know if I said his name right. I think that's how you say it. I put a thing up on my Instagram. You probably saw it saying, I think I'm going to love this man, and tagged him, and he liked it. So I was like, yeah, he knows I love him now, which is great. But I thought he was outstanding when he came on, and he was on for such a short time. But what he did in that short period, my God, did he impress me. He reminds me of a fit Chuck Saniki. You know, with strength and power. I mean, that guy tried to bring him down. My God, did he try? But he would not move. So how big a player do you think he is going to be for us this season? You know, obviously coming from a Stockport side, you know, he didn't score loads of goals, but he looks like he could be a real threat and asset to us.
Yeah, I mean, he's trouble, isn't he? He came on yesterday and it was like a grenade went off, didn't it? He was here, he was there, he was getting stuck in. I think he's going to give a lot of centre halves a lot of problems this season. He's quick. I think he's direct as well, and I think he's that sort of player that if he can get 5 yards on a defender, or he gets a snapshot opportunity, I think he'll take it. But yeah, I like you, Emma. I was really impressed with him yesterday. I thought he'd come on, he put himself about. He showed some good sort of content as well into his game. I don't think he looked one-dimensional in any way. I think he looks like he's got a lot to offer us as a centre forward, and I think, like it's been said, he's probably looked at the pre-season and thought he was a little bit unlucky not to start yesterday, but he certainly came on and made his presence felt when he did enter the play. But yeah, I think there's going to be a lot to look forward to from this boy.
Yeah, and I'm actually banking on him maybe to score more goals than Kelman this season. It's a big call for me, that, but I don't know. I've just got a feeling. I've got a feeling he's going to be our top scorer this season in the Charlton pre-match show. So we shall see. Paul, I'm saving the best till last. Harvey,
so you say.
That's not even a song. I made it up. But you know, this guy, you know, was probably, when it was rumoured we were signing him, wow, I was buzzing, and then it looked like it had fallen through. You know, if you watched our transfer show, you would know, you know, that kind of at that stage it was rumoured that we were signing him. So we spoke about him a little bit, but obviously it hadn't kind of gone through. Appointed with. Yeah, and then
getting off again.
Here's out of nowhere wearing a Charlton shirt, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
For me, it's probably our signing of the window. And obviously, you know, he didn't really have a pre-season. I think he was carrying a little bit of a knock. So I'm thinking, right, you know, we've got to get him up to speed. We're not really going to see much of him. Wow, what an impact yesterday. What did you make of him, and how massive is he going to be for us this season?
Yeah, so going back to Tanto briefly, I'd be surprised if both Tanto and Harvey don't start at Ashton Gate. But yeah, Harvey, I mean, if that's the last signing, that's putting a real bow on our signing. I mean, great business. And yeah, it was concerning, wasn't it? It was on again, then it was off again. And finally, as you say, it sort of turned up. And we could all breathe a collective sigh of relief. But it's just, in a sense, you know, this is what we wanted Luke Berry to do last season, sort of unlock the door, have that sort of creativity in midfield to sort of, you know, really give us that spark. And I think, you know, by God, with Harvey here, I think he's the man, basically. As you say, he came on for 14, 15 minutes cameo. But in that time, similar to Tanto, you know, showed what he can do, you know, unlocking the door and just, you know, I mean, that's his natural habitat now, isn't it? Really, the valley, a full valley, in front of the covered end. And he scores the winner. I mean, what can you talk about as sort of dream debut? But I think going forward, you know, the sort of the work he did at Cambridge and then at Reading was, you know, there for all to see, really. So, you know, it's a good body of work. Okay, he never played in the Championship, but I think, again, he's going to be among the list of those that we've talked about earlier on, about those who can make the jump, and he's making the jump already. So I'm really, really sort of heartened by what he can bring us. He's really a confident lad, but also quite a humble lad, which I like as well. So he was really, he was obviously blown away by the reception he got from the covered end. And yeah, I mean, I'm really, really sort of excited to see what he can do in sort of full 90 minutes. And so I'd say sort of watch out Bristol City, basically, because if you've got Harvey and Tanto coming at you, you need to be on your game.
Yeah, I spoke to Harvey after the game because I waited for my photo. I was with Tom. And he said, "Oh, I've saved the best till last." Clearly, and then I said, "I hope you do at Reading." And he said, "Oh, was it you who was always abusing me?" I don't know what everyone's been saying about me. I was like, "No, I just hate you because of how good you are." But now you're ours, so I'm happy you're right now. But no, he seems like a real nice lad, and I think he's going to fit in really, really well. And what a player. Tyler, I've just got to show you this message. I'll let you read it. Can you see it? Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah,
Nice.
That's class. Yeah, that's class.
So, we love our Tyler. Tyler's an OG. We love him. He's funny after a few shots of Tequila Rose.
Jesus Christ. I still haven't touched him since Rotherham away.
He dozed off at Rotherham away. Mind you, it was one of them games, and I had to cheek to come out the pub and went, "Emma's battered and I'm fine." he was not fine, but I was battered.
Yeah, proving horrifically wrong there.
yeah, a little bit. So we will quickly, because time is getting on, and I don't want to keep Sid up too late. Although it's not a school night. We will quickly talk about Tuesday. So obviously we've got Stevenage. Is it the Carabao Cup, I believe?
Yeah.
Am I right? Yeah. I wanted to make sure I got that right. We're looking probably to see a much changed team. So I'll quickly go round you all and just ask who you would like to see play on Tuesday, or included. So Paul, I'll start with you.
Mbic, Fuller, those two in particular.
Stephen, Sid.
I'm hoping to see probably Aptar, and I'd like to see Sonny Carey as well, because they're a good duo together.
Yeah, Tom.
I'd like to see what Costello can do as well. And then it'll obviously be interesting to see if obviously Mannion or Ash starts as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, and Tyler.
It's not because I'm repping the Jamaican side, but I'd like to see Keem Dixon with his water boots.
Love it.
I knew this was coming, but if I tell you, what do you reckon Chris has put in the chat, Steve?
Oh, obviously that's Luke Berry, isn't it? It's got to be. There you go.
Luke Berry. Yeah.
And rightly so, yeah.
Yeah. Ryan has gone for Dan Carnu, which obviously Dan hasn't gone out on loan yet. So I would like to see Dan get a run out. I'm a bit like Paul on this. I'm massively impressed with Fuller.
Yeah.
I would. I mean, what he did at Southend was pure filth.
If he scored that roulette, it's game over.
Yeah, I literally nearly got out my seat and squealed with excitement. This kid is the real deal. Like, I think he's unbelievable. So yeah. I'd like to see him get more minutes. I'd like to see the gas man play as well, because I was the only one singing his name at Southend. I was as well. No, well, I couldn't hear you. I literally got up and I was singing "Gas and had me." And I've done it twice because he scored twice, and I was the only one doing it. And Paul was like behind me.
You gave me earache.
Yeah, I gave you earache. I'm sorry. You've been used to that. You sit near me.
Well, there you go.
But I can see most of the starting 11 from yesterday being rested. And I think we'll go. But it'll be nice to see some change players, I think. And it'll give, the reserves a chance maybe to impress.
I want to see Alex Mitchell as well, to be fair, as well. I think he needs to gone out.
We're having a bit of a row in the chat because Stuart, I agree with Stuart. Carey is a big upgrade on Berry. Yeah. And then Chris has put, "Can you ban Stuart Wallace, please?" No fisticuffs on the podcast, please. Right, before we go, I'm going to do some season predictions with you all, because this is our full squad. This is our Chronicles team for the season. I know I announced that Josh has left us. Nick has also left us. He told me the other day. So this is your crew for the season. We will be getting some really special guests on this season. I can't talk too much about it, but if you like your ex-Charlton players, and I'm talking Charlton legends, stick with the Charlton Chronicles, because I have some incredible guests coming onto this podcast, and even maybe getting an ex-manager on this podcast. So keep watching. That's the little teaser I'm giving you. I'm in discussions at the moment to get those on. There'll be no payments made, just putting my Emma charm to its best. And I've even got phone numbers. It's great. Who do I think I am? So what I'm going to do is I want your tip for who you think is going to win the Player of the Year this year. So, and we're going to remember it. And whoever gets it right at the end of the season is going to win a Charlton Chronicles hoodie.
Ooh, nice.
So, I know, who doesn't want a Charlton Chronicles hoodie? They're amazing. So, Sid and Steve, I'll take one from each of you, so you're both in with a chance of winning. So, Paul, I'm going to come to you first. Your prediction for Player of the Year. And you've got to remember these as well, because I don't have a pen to write them down. So...
Well, I forget it wrong. I forget. No, obviously you know who I want to win. Obviously, Josh Edwards, whatever. But I think I will say Harvey Knibbs.
Harvey Knibbs. Sid, I'll come to you. I'm not buying more than one hoodie, by the way. Well, I can. It's fine. Don't all go Harvey Knibbs, for God's sake.
You will.
I'm going to go for Kane Ramsey. I mean, after the first game yesterday, he's already been unstoppable, so I think he'll win it.
Kane Ramsey. I like that. Steve?
I'm going to go Lloydie again. After yesterday's performance, I thought he was fantastic. I think he'll lead by example, and I think he'll be Mr. Consistent again this season.
Tom?
I'm going to go Mr. Conor Coventry. I think this year he's going to step up big time, and he's going to make that position his for the whole season.
And Tyler, hit me, not literally.
I was going to say Ramsey, then Sid had it, and I was going to say Coventry, then Tom had it. So, do you know what? I'll do it for Paul. I'll be the one to back Josh Edwards. I'll be. But I genuinely do think he's in with a shout of it, though. I think he could be up for the way he played on Saturday.
And who am I going to go for? I'm going to go for Rob Apter.
Yeah, good
shout.
Yeah.
So I'm going for the Raptor. So if I win, one of you's got to buy me a Charlton Chronicles hoodie. Whoever's got the most money. I reckon Steve and Sid, because they've been at Koh Samui.
Blimey, busted.
And we'll go lastly for our score predictions for Tuesday night. So Stephen said, I'll come to you. Your score prediction versus Stevenage on Tuesday.
I'll go 3-0.
3-0. Sid?
Yeah. I'm going to go for 3-1.
3-1. Tom?
4-0.
Did you say 1-0?
4-0.
Oh, 4-0.
Yeah.
Paul?
We're going to copy Steve and say 3-0. We're going to give you the scorers in Bick 2 and Carno.
Oh, I didn't ask for scorers, but I'll take it.
Well, because I copied Steve, so I thought I'd better put scorers in to make it.
Tyler?
I'll go 2-0.
2-0. I'm going for a 4-0. Yeah, I'm fancying a 4-0. We've got a couple in the chat. Ryan has gone for a 7-0. I think, Paul, last time you did that, you was well off. Last season.
Was that Burton, wasn't it?
Yeah, CAFC Fan Hub has gone for 3-0, Tanto, Gillespie and Fuller. I think we could actually see Macca play on Tuesday, so that wouldn't surprise me. Kimmy has gone for a 3-0, Miles Brace and Fuller. And Ryan has said Carno's going to score all 7 goals. And then go on loan to AFC Wimbledon. While we're on here, can we just give a massive shout out to Nathan Asimwe, who scored for AFC Wimbledon yesterday. Really impressed the Wimbledon fans. And he seems to be smashing it there. So well done, Nath, on your debut and scoring. And I just want to give a big shout out to everyone that has donated to Ethan's family's GoFundMe as well. It's over £13,000 now, which is incredible.
Brilliant.
Obviously, I did one for the family, but which we raised, I think, just under 500. But obviously, the family wanted to do one in association with the club, which they've now done. And the money from mine has gone to the family. It's gone to Ethan's dad. I've been talking to the family. They are all doing okay. They're just preparing for the funeral, which is really sad. But from the Charlton Chronicles, we wish Ethan's family all the best. You know, your family is our family, you know, Charlton family all together. So we're really sorry for your loss, and hope, you know, the money raised can really help to support you at this terrible time. And also, while we're doing that, all our love to George Costa's family. You know, if you are of a certain age, which there's a few of us on here, you'll remember George playing, and he's probably one of the best defenders I've ever seen in my 30 plus years of support of the Valley. So, you know, a massive loss to the footballing world. He was an incredible talent, and it was really nice to hear the covered end singing his name yesterday. So, and obviously to Pierre Belange's family as well on the anniversary of his passing as well. So, you know, I'm really glad we got the win for those three yesterday, but long may it continue. We will be back on Wednesday to preview our away game with Bristol City, where we're looking to hopefully sell out. It's looking like we're taking a good attendance. And it's the first time I think I've ever been able to pick my own seat in an away game. So if you're in my seat, get out. Because I've got a ticket that says that's my seat. I picked it because I want to stand there. I'm not sitting, I'm standing. So don't go in my seat, because I will pull you up by the collar and remove you. And if I don't, Tom will do it for me.
Whoa, hang on, whoa.
So we will see you guys on Wednesday. Thank you to Paul. Thank you to Steve and Sid. I hope you enjoyed your first official pod as your new co-host. Thank you to Tom. That's commitment, doing it from a car park in Gravesend. And massive thanks to Tyler. Hope you've been able to get down to the Valley on Tuesday night. If you do, come and sit in A block in the covered end, because there's about 10 of us at the minute, and we ain't going to be able to make a lot of noise from there. So, well, I don't know, me and Tom are in there, so we might be able to.
Come on.
But thanks, guys, for watching. Thanks to the new watchers as well. It's really, really appreciated. We will be back on Wednesday, and thanks for your support, guys. Take care. See you soon.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks all.